It's the holidays, so if you clicked on this video and you're not here for Once Human, but you just want to support the channel, Greg has a special message just for you, and technically for everyone else.
We wish you a Merry Gregmas, we wish you a Merry Gregmas, we wish you a Merry Gregmas and a Happy Greg Year.
Oh, that's what he was planning. I guess we celebrate Gregmas around here now. Alright, moving on to your Once Human news. I don't want to be negative for the holidays, so I'm going to attempt to give potential goods to the bads. But basically, in this week's patch, the devs broke the game, and Reddit is on fire about it. So let's cover everything while I sip some hot cocoa on my couch, basically meaning this is going to be less edited than normal. A new player experience tutorial has been added. Sadly, I have no character slots left to use, and it takes 5 days to delete a character, so I can't show this off directly, but I watched a friend play through the whole thing, and every veteran I've talked to seems to have a similar opinion. The new tutorial is long and does a much better job teaching you things while introducing Eternal Land. However, they throw a lot of the cool encounters at you, so it kind of ruins meeting them in scenarios while also being pretty difficult for a brand new player. The story is drastically retconning the original story, and it feels so watered down now. In the original, you woke up with a shard in your gut in a Rosetta facility. You learn what Stardust is and how it affected the world, creating deviations and deviants. Then how Rosetta decided to start using it to make metahumans, transcendents, and eventually caused Manibus to show up and put its fingers into everything. You learn what you are as a metahuman and what the Cradle is. You even learn about V being in a similar situation, but both of your memory are gone, so you have to figure out both of your origins together through the Manibus scenario, which is where you also learn about Mitsuko and Mary's origins, the Rosetta versus Mayfly war, and why you were in that containment pod. The new story kind of throws out all of that mystery and buildup. Now we are just some human from some random world that essentially got isekai'd into Eternal Land. Deviations are now just a byproduct of the world collapse, instead of being objects with beliefs and stories affected by Stardust to warp reality around them, giving them life. There's apparently 12 great ones now, including the Manibus that Mitsuko needs us to secure so she'll have enough power to send us home, which I'm going to assume is retconning the original Great One boss storylines. For example, Ravenous Hunter was just a festering gel that went rogue originally, and a lot of the others were transcendents created and maintained by Rosetta's shenanigans. So without going on about this for an hour, the short of it is that we had an interesting mystery story slowly told through the gameplay in a post-apocalyptic world, but now it's just us being isekai'd in as an overpowered human being sent around to fight Great Ones for the goddess of the Eternal Land so we can go back home. I'm fairly confident this just opened a crap load of plot holes with the storylines and lore of each of the scenarios. And the worst part? They changed how V looks. Before, he looked like a deviation, which had story reasons for that. Now he looks like some weird drone thing and apparently already knows that he was a scientist. So let me know how you feel about the story changing, and we'll see where this goes in the future. Alright, next up, they've overhauled all of the combat deviations. Each deviation now has a special ability and an ultimate ability, with almost every deviation that had a specific elemental debuff now has a status vulnerability debuff, and the ones with weapon and weak spot debuffs are now firearm vulnerability. On paper, this is amazing. There's so many new combinations of guns and deviations that you can use together to change up your playstyle. A lot of the deviations that were not being used, like the Grumpy Bulb, now actually have good abilities, or at the very least, interesting options. However, it seems the devs did not do enough testing for this change. Players are reporting buttons not working, massive damage nerfs to their favorite builds due to it being a status vuln instead of an elemental, and one that I find hilarious is that the damage values on most of the deviation abilities weren't tested properly, so people are one-shotting the bosses. The deviations are now so powerful that guns are practically useless, but in some cases things like taunt abilities and certain effects are just not working as well. And if you're a PvP player, The battlefield has just become ability one-shots and butterfly auto-aim madness. So needless to say, players are not happy with this patch. But in good news, as usual, the devs put out a statement that they are aware of the issues and have already hotfixed some of them, while they continue working to fix others. So hopefully after a week or two, we can actually see how good or bad each deviation and build has become. And I'd expect some exciting new builds will arrive and be built by the community. Next up, sniper rifles have an iron sight option now. This was definitely added for Raidzone first and then ported to the rest of the game, but hey, it's kinda cool that we got it. The Starlight Parcel station is now open. We can't gather decorations anymore, but we can exchange gifts to get our Wish Strike tickets. The Aureate Gala Lootcrate is now out. I have a full showcase video made, so have a look if that interests you. To go with that, Lightforge Lucky Box has returned. If you're someone who spends on Lightforge loot crates, this is one of your best bang for buck for the draws. The new shop Lucky Bazaar is open. You get daily refreshes of random discounted items, including limited time furniture formulas. The Snownight Carol furniture pack is out, so you can decorate for the holidays. And the Evergreen Sprite theme pack has a 20% discount, and they're refunding the difference to those who already bought it. A group of the old territory packs have had expansions for missing pieces that you can pick up in the shop for free if you already own the main pack, and they plan to add all the other missing ones in the near future. The Winter Arrival top is now in the shop as well, which is your traditional ugly Christmas sweater. Meta Pass has had more outfits and weapon skins added to it, so you get more for your subscription now. Meta's Bounty had an update, but as usual, we don't cover pay to unlock achievement systems. Raidzone has had an overhaul to how a lot of its gathering, crafting, and main systems work. They essentially are simplifying a lot of things and making crafting more required, changing the tiers on certain crafts, removing items, changing names. A lot of this just pushes it even closer to how Rust works with this new recycle for blueprint system instead of using memetics. There's honestly so much here that if you are a Raidzone player, I highly recommend going and checking the fine details in the patch notes for yourself. For regular scenarios, they are changing challenges to unlock based on your memetics instead of progressing by stage, so you can do them at your own pace now, meaning that leveling up will directly affect your access to more challenges instead of an annoying wait time. To go with this, in the SCP scenario, Symbiosis level and main story are no longer tied, allowing you to level up through deviation values and challenges. The Rift Anchors and Teleportation Towers have been removed and replaced with World Stones. This change seems to have been very negatively received for two reasons. As previously mentioned, this is them messing with the lore and world building of what Rosetta was doing in favor of Mitsuko channeling powers through these things. But also, they apparently are causing a lot of players to have lag, frame rate, and other issues when near them and on the map. Since they've replaced anchors with them as well, there's now way more teleport locations available, so I actually think that's kind of nice. In building, they adjusted options for applying skins to curved walls. They've also added new chat channel functions, there's cross-server channels, and there's even an Eternal Land server chat too. Added fusion results for certain fish and the Hydronaut deviation. So I'm a bit too busy for the holidays. I'm gonna have to ask one of you to figure out if that's a new fusion shiny variant and report it back to the comments for everybody. And lastly, there's a new navigation mode where you can crank it up to full guidance to have traffic signs and arrows to tell you exactly where to drive to get to waypoints that you've marked. We do at least have the option to set it to the immersion style because I personally don't like having my hand held. So I hope you all have very happy holidays. You should try to enjoy the chaos of this update and just laugh off the problems. I'm sure they will fix all the new bugs in time, and we'll be able to make some new fun builds with different deviations. Have a Merry Gregmas and a Happy Greg year.